So guys, the crypto markets are trading sideways, seeing a little bit of green right now with all the news events and economic events with Israel and Iran. Right now, Trump just told everyone to get out of Tehran, and right now pretty much based off of what's going on, which has people speculating what's going to be happening. People are looking at crude oil prices. People are also looking at exactly what is happening to the US markets and how everything is being affected and how you need to pretty much follow the money and not the noise. And today, I want to walk you guys through the price action we're currently seeing with Bitcoin, ethereum, altcoins, the news events, and exactly what's having an effect on the market. But if you're new to my channel, go and check out the rest of my content. I keep you guys updated on the day-to-day events, price action on Bitcoin, ethereum, altcoins, how liquidity is shifting, and exactly what you need to be aware of so that you can make those crazy gains. Guys, we have some big events happening this week. On top of that, we have pretty much Israel and Iran causing this whole, fiasco that's causing the United States to probably have to jump in. This is causing everyone to call for World War III. But right now, guys, crude oil prices and the U.S. market is not pretty much reflecting that. So right now, I want to walk you guys through exactly what you need to be aware of, not to get scared of all the headlines in the market and what is anticipated based on what we're currently seeing. So with all that being said, let's jump straight into it. So guys, like how I said, we're seeing a little bit of green in the markets right now. We're pretty much trading sideways due to the news events that are happening and pretty much some key events that are going to be happening this week, mainly with Israel and Iran, guys, pretty much initiating this whole war that's pretty much going on. But right now, the price action on Bitcoin is pretty much just trading sideways, waiting to see if we can break that 107,000 zone, which a lot of people are talking about. Ethereum currently sitting at around 2527, just trading sideways, trying to get back to that 2800 region. But right now, we're seeing a little bit of rejection. As a result, guys, altcoins are seeing sideways price action, returning a lot of the gains that we saw last week and the previous week before that when everything was rallying. And right now, everyone's starting to look at the dominance around Bitcoin and pretty much how we're about to reclaim that 65% zone, which we have been talking about because people are reallocating back into Bitcoin and also stable coins, guys. As you can see, USDT was seeing a little bit of recovery, but it is also starting to trade a little bit sideways, pointing to the fact that investors could start pretty much changing their perspective on where they want to have their liquidity move back into Bitcoin and Ethereum and altcoins as well. But guys, the biggest things that are causing the effect on the market is the reaction with the Israel and Iran war that is pretty much taking place. Trump pretty much had an update not too long ago, guys, an hour from making this video, and says everyone should immediately leave and evacuate Tehran. Tehran, I don't know if I'm saying that right, but that's the capital of Iran, guys. And this is where a lot of people are speculating what's going to be happening. Now, the Kobesi letter talks about exactly how, at the end of the day, smart money moves different than pretty much the headlines that are being said. We're seeing crude oil prices start to drop down, and pretty much due to an ease in tensions and talk about a de-escalation that could be taking place. But in the last, I would say 7-8 hours, we have been seeing different updates as opposed to I guess de-escalation that we were talking about, literally 16 hours ago. Now Trump is talking about how everyone should immediately evacuate Tehran, pretty much based off of exactly them having a nuclear weapon, how they shouldn't have a nuclear weapon, and at the end of the day, we shouldn't have our people in there. But a great perspective on this is that keep watching the oil markets, guys, the big, economies in the market that actually have an effect on liquidity and everything. President Trump just told everyone to evacuate Tehran immediately, yet oil prices are up a mere 1.5% on the news. Oil markets continue to price in a short-lived conflict. Ignore the noise, follow the money. And this is super important, guys, because at the end of the day, if smart money is moving in the right direction, that's what you want to follow, not all the headlines and all the bullcrap that everyone is feeding you. And this is where, we have different perspectives based off of exactly what's going on. Even the Kobesi letter talked about exactly how, if we were on the verge of a recession, that at the end of the day, we wouldn't be seeing the U.S. markets trading the way that they are currently right now. And right here he says it, to all who are calling for World War III, if there were even a 50% chance of World War III right now, the S&P 500 wouldn't be 2% away from a new all-time high. And he goes on to say, in fact, the S&P 500 would be down over 30%. Gold would be above 5,000 an ounce because people would be scared and start moving money into gold. And oil prices would be above $100 a barrel. And currently, guys, we are not seeing that. So I want you guys to get away from all the headlines and really focus on the smart money. And on this channel, that is what we do. But we're starting to see more headlines, like how I said, from Trump around Tehran and a few other different things, especially with Trump heading to Washington, D.C. tonight, cutting his G7 trip early, and then pretty much giving a little bit more perspective. Trump requests the National Security Council to be prepared in the Situation Room. So a lot of updates, guys, happening while I'm dropping this video, but this is where I want you to pretty much focus on the money, not all the headlines. Now, moving more into it, Justin Bennett talks about exactly where we could be heading with price action around Bitcoin and how a lot of people are feeling heated based off of this perspective and currently what we're seeing. Ionic XBT also covers this and pretty much exactly if this is a bullish perspective or if this is a bearish perspective. But Justin Bennett talks about it. It says the amount of hate directed at a simple path I drew on a chart is incredible, but not surprising on this platform, especially because people don't like deviations, and whenever you tell them a deviation is going to happen. It's a range until proven otherwise. It's not rocket science. I don't know where Bitcoin goes next, but I do know that getting bullish at the highs is always a bad effing idea. But sacrifices must be made, so carry on. And this is a chart he showed, guys, and it was earlier this morning, showing how Bitcoin acceptance above 107K could mean a change of plans from what he discussed last week with the deviations and the huge rip-ups. Take the 110K highs first, then lower. Let's see. Just don't make the mistake of getting bullish at the highs. And this is where he pretty much believes that we're going to be hitting that zone. It's going to be an area of liquidity. People would think it's going to be a buy the rumor, sell the news event. And as a result, we're going to be seeing deviations down back to that 100,000%. 100,000 zone, guys. 106, 100,000 potentially, just based off of how bad that deviation is. But this is where people have different perspectives based off of what's going on. Ionic XBT also talks about it. He says, I'm warning you, study this Bitcoin chart, the cleanest chart, no explaining needed, do it yourself. And this has mixed perspective, guys. Pretty much with this Fibonacci sequence that a lot of people are seeing and pretty much comparing, a lot of people think that we could be returning back based off of this imbalance. Others believe that we're going to be ripping up much more further. At the end of the day, we truly do not know. The total market of the crypto markets, guys, says many different things. And at the end of the day, this is really going to let us know exactly how Bitcoin is moving forward and altcoins as well. And the total chart, guys, has different perspectives from all different types of crypto analysts and investors. So take all of that with a grain of salt. But Ionic XBT, I always want to call him that. He pretty much talks about exactly what he thinks is going to be happening if we see, a conflict arise. And I kind of agree with his perspective, but I think he's being a little too, warmonger. But anyways, he says, I'm not a geopolitical expert. F that. I'm here to make money. But let me tell you what happens to crypto if the U.S. attacks Iran. It's simple. The U.S. attacks Iran. Global fear goes up fast. Oil prices spike. Why? Iran controls a key oil route. When oil goes up, inflation fears return. Stock markets panic. Big money pulls out of risk. Crypto dips short term because people sell everything in a panic. But then, and I'm sorry guys for this long post, and this is why he wants you to be on this post, freaking posting it like this. But anyways, but then Bitcoin starts to look like a safe haven. It's an anti-government. It's outside the system. War makes people trust the dollar less. So they start looking for alternatives. Gold pumps. So does Bitcoin. Altcoins bleed harder at first, and they're more volatile, more risky. But smart money rotates into the strongest ones. The narrative becomes survival and freedom. That's why war can be bad for altcoins early, but good for Bitcoin and top narratives later. And he just pretty much has this perspective that at the end of the day, guys, we could be seeing a huge, crazy tension, a huge rally, and pretty much what we're seeing in terms of the deviations. But at the end of the day, it's just a matter of time for everything to return back and for us to see exactly everyone reallocate to Bitcoin, risk assets, and all these other different things. And once everything starts to blow over and we start to see a little bit of, ease in the markets and overall global tensions, we're going to start to see crazy rip-ups, especially for specific assets. But guys, swiping everything to the side right now, everything is pretty much trading sideways based off of the news events that is happening with Iran and Israel and how the U.S. might be jumping into play. But like I told you, you need to be following the smart money, not all the headlines and things that everybody is saying. And that's why on this channel, I cut through all the fluff. I get straight to the point on the information that's coming out, what's causing the fluctuations of the market and the price action that we're currently seeing, so that you can understand where liquidity is shifting. And right now, guys, I'm not getting worried. I know that this could probably get a little bit more crazier. It can escalate further, knock on wood that it doesn't. But at the end of the day, if it does, that just means we can pretty much buy altcoins at more of a steal. And if you're so worried and you want to sell, then sell. But that is the risk that you are going to have, the risk that you're going to be sidelined and that everything is just going to be ripping up. And that's why, Justin Bennett gives his perspective not to get bullish at the all-time highs. But that's a coin flip. At the end of the day, we could be seeing a huge breakout and then a huge rip up and altcoins start to rally, especially if we start to see tensions start to drop down and more deals come through like what we're seeing with the US. Or we could be seeing everything do the opposite. But we do not know. Only in time, guys, we will know. And on this channel, I keep you guys updated with the day-to-day events and information that you need to be aware of. So, if you're new to my channel, check out the rest of my content. Keep you guys updated with the day-to-day events, price action on Bitcoin, Ethereum, altcoins, how liquidity is shifting, and everything you need to be aware of, guys, so that you can position yourself correctly. At the end of the day, guys, we need more information. We have some key events happening this week. I hope the conflict between Iran and Israel starts to ease itself. But right now, we're seeing the U.S. and Trump start to talk about how everyone needs to get out of Tehran, which is the capital of Iran. This has everyone speculating what's going to be happening. But smart money is still moving good, and that's why I'm not stressed out. But if anything changes, guys, you will know tomorrow because we will see the information that comes out. So if you guys have any questions or suggestions, drop them down below. I drop day-to-day content, so hopefully you guys stay tuned, and hopefully I see you guys tomorrow. Peace.